You're wasting everybody. Overhyped bum, bro. I'm looking at the camera right now. You fucking suck, bro. Just stop acting like you're like that. Stop stealing boxing money. You're wasting everybody's money. You're not entertaining, bro. You're boring as come see me in the ring if you think I could do it anytime,
You think
bro.
you can see Crawford?
I could definitely see Crawford, bro. What do you mean? None of these that good, bro. Terence Crawford really hasn't beat nobody other than Errol Spence Jr. that went through a car crash. Who has he beat? He hasn't beat nobody, bro. He's not gonna beat nobody, bro. Terence Crawford, if he fights Virgil Ortiz and I think Virgil Ortiz might even give him a run for the money. Even though
You think so?
yeah, I think so. No, he ain't like that, bro. Terence Crawford is an overhyped bum, bro.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, a few people sent me this, asked me my thoughts on it. They got it from the brother Bruce Vane. Bruce Vane did a video on this, and people sent me this clip that Bruce Vane did the video on. So I didn't see the interview in its totality. I just saw the video that Bruce Vane did, and people, sent me this clip and asked me my thoughts on it. And my thoughts are pretty simple on this topic. As you heard, newly crowned WBC welterweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Ryan Garcia, who is 25 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 20 wins by way of knockout. I don't know. I think this video is old. I think this interview of Ryan Garcia is old. I don't think it's current. When he made the statement, as you heard him say, and he said Terence Crawford only beat Errol Spence, and Virgil Ortiz would give him problems. I think this is before he beat Israel Madrimov and before he beat Canelo. So I think this is old. I think this is around the time where we really found out that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford not going to have the rematch, and Terence Crawford was trying to fight Sebastian Fundora, and it was talks of Virgil Ortiz possibly fighting Terence Crawford, etc., right? So I think that this is around that time, if I'm not mistaken. And I haven't seen any of the, it just I think it's old. I look for the actual interview and I can't find it because I think it's old. I think it's around that time. With that said, my thoughts on this. My thoughts is this, is that Ryan Garcia is a sideshow. He's always been that. From the moment he came into professional boxing. Now in the amateurs, he won 12 amateur championships and nationals and things of that nature. I always say this, and I'm going to say it again. He's a professional boxer who was able to, one of the first people that was able to utilize social media to their advantage. And that's who Ryan Garcia, he's always been that. He's a professional boxer. He's in reverse of the guys like Jake Paul and guys like that. Ryan Garcia is the reverse of them, right? They are YouTube sensations, social media stars turned boxers. He's a boxer who very early in his career realized that he can utilize social media to his advantage, utilizing his looks for the young teenagers and the support. That's why he got so many followers on social media, etc., etc. That's why it doesn't translate to professional boxing. It doesn't translate unless he has another superstar that his fan base can identify with, because the majority of his fan base are not boxing fans. So they need somebody else that they can identify with, a la Gervonta Tank Davis, a la Devin Haney. They can identify with Devin Haney and they can identify with Gervonta Tank Davis. And this is why those fights are so successful. That's why when you put Ryan Garcia in with another superstar, right? Is he a superstar in the sport? Does he garner attention and attraction? Yes. not to the level of degree that they would lead you, the powers that be, the narratives that they would lead you to believe that he's this mega superstar that just does these mega numbers. That's false, because he simply does not. But what Ryan Garcia is a social media superstar. So that's just who Ryan Garcia has always been. But he grew up in the sport of boxing. But again, like I said, he was one of the first people to utilize utilize social media to his benefit, right? To his advantage. As far as his comments on first ballot Hall of Famer, 5-division world champion, 3-division undisputed world champion, superstar, former pound-for-pound boxer, Terence Bud Crawford, who retired now, 42 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout. It's just silly. There's no other way to slice it. Even then, it's just silly. That fact that he said only person he beat was Errol Spence. No, he beat Errol Spence and stopped Errol Spence. He stopped Sean Porter. He stopped Yuriorkis Gamboa. See, a lot of these fighters don't know their history. They haven't done their homework, right? So when you talk about, when he says silly stuff like Terence Crawford was boring. Terence Crawford, that just sounds utterly ridiculous in itself when he was on like a 12 to 13 fight knockout streak. Terence Crawford has knocked out or unanimous decision every fighter he's fought. He's never had a close fight in his career. That in itself is ridiculous. He is knocked out or stopped pretty much all the fighters he's fought, except for 11, and those fights he won unanimous decision. Just take that into consideration. He was on, at one point in time, like a 12-fight knockout streak. That sounds ridiculous to say he's boring. But Ryan Garcia praised Gervonta Tank Davis. Make that make sense. Terence Crawford got more knockouts than Tank Davis got fights. No, he got the same amount of knockouts that Tank Davis got fights. Tank Davis got 31 fights in his career. He's 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw. 28 wins by way of knockout, right? And hasn't fought near the level of opposition that Terence Crawford fought. Terence Crawford has 31 knockouts in 42 fights. Jumped up from essentially 3 weight classes, technically 2, because he only had 1 stop at 154 from the Errol Spence fight. Fought once a year, was 38 years old, dominated a guy in his prime in Canelo Alvarez, who's the first ballot Hall of Famer, a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, arguably the greatest Mexican fighter, definitely the most accomplished in boxing history. And everybody said he was going to get knocked out. He was just simply too small. Take that into consideration. Terence Crawford dominates all his fights. No controversy. It's not even worth going into Ryan Garcia's lack of accomplishments. The dude has 27 fights in his career and only been a world champion for the first time in his career at 28 years old. Has been tested positive for a banned substance, suspended, and fined. Missed weight. I mean, how exciting is Ryan Garcia? He dropped Mario Barrios in his fight, right? He didn't knock out Mario Barrios. How exciting was Ryan against Tank Davis? He was sloppy, winging punches at Gervonta Tank Davis. What was the excitement? Because he came in just winging punches? Winging hooks? See, and then when he says Terence Crawford hasn't beaten anybody, Sean Porter should be a Hall of Famer. Kell Brook, right? He stopped Kell Brook with a jab. Again, like I said in the past, is Kell Brook the same version of Kell Brook that Errol Spence fought? No. But is the version that Errol Spence beat Kell Brook the same version of Kell Brook that before he fought Triple G? No. But Terence Crawford stopped this man with a jab. He stopped him with a jab. Okay? On top of that, he beat Yuriorkis Gamboa. See, if you ask Ryan Garcia about Yuriorkis Gamboa, he has no clue who Yuriorkis Gamboa is and what he's done in his career. And when Terence Crawford fought him and beat him, see, here's the problem, right? Just like I told people in the past when I said Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson is about the same size as Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. No, he's not. He's smaller than them. Now he's smaller than them because they have both bulked up to fight at higher weight classes. And now they walk around weight and they're older. I'm talking about earlier in their career, when you look at Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford was skinny with a wiry frame. And people forget he was so dominant in those weight classes that people dismiss the guys he fought at the weight class like he was a welterweight fighting small guys. As if he ain't never missed weight. Shakur missed weight on the scale when stripped of his belts. Terence Crawford ain't never missed weight. He's never missed weight. Shakur got stripped of his belts fighting at 130. 5 pounds, Terence Crawford fought at 35. Which means that Shakur should have been fighting at 35. Terence Crawford never missed weight. He had a skinny, wiry frame. Yuriorkis Gamboa was top 7 pound for pound best fighters in the world. But if you don't know your homework, you don't watch the sport of boxing, and you're a casual, you wouldn't know that. You would say that Yuriorkis Gamboa, oh man, who is Gamboa? Gamboa was undefeated and a tornado within the sport of boxing. At the time, he wasn't as active as people wanted him to be due to the fact that his promotional issues. Everybody wanted to see Gamboa versus Wanma. Again, somebody that people don't know, Wanma, right? Mikey Garcia and Gamboa. These were major big fights that didn't happen. But you would know that if you was a student of the sport, and Gamboa was top 7 pound for pound. So therefore, it just sounds utterly ridiculous when when people listen to Ryan Garcia and Ryan Garcia says what he says. Ryan Garcia gets a pass because of this quote unquote following that he has, but it has never translated because he has young adults in social media. And for some odd reason, right, people continue to correlate Ryan Garcia's Instagram followers. Man, he got 10 million Instagram followers. It has never translated to boxing. Again, it only translates where his followers can identify the person standing across the ring from him. He just fought Mario Barrios and they was giving away the tickets was 50% off. And then at one point in time, close to the fight, like the day before the fight, the tickets was like 75% off. Because it don't translate. When he fought Oscar Duarte, it don't translate. It just simply does not. Because the people that follow him are not paying to see him compete against people they don't know. So the common denominator, he did big numbers with Devin Haney. He did big numbers with Tank Davis. Outside of that, when has he done big numbers? Tank Davis is consistent when he not fighting Ryan Garcia. Is it as big as Ryan Garcia fight? No. Is it Devin Haney is consistent with his numbers? Is it as big as the Ryan Garcia fight? No. Because you're putting two big identifiable people together and it makes for a big fight. It makes for a big attraction. So more casual people take notice. That's why. But when Ryan Garcia is fighting somebody you don't know or a solid fighter that the casuals don't know, they don't tune in. He just fought a Mexican fighter. People always say Mexican fighters sell. He just fought a Mexican fighter in the West Coast, in Las Vegas, and they was giving away tickets, who was a world champion. Because again, he doesn't sell. Devin Haney sold out in Oakland when he fought Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is not from the West Coast. Regis Prograis is not a major star. He's a superstar within the sport of boxing, within the realm of the sport of boxing. That's it. That's all. Right? Devin Haney sold with Regis Prograis. Why? Because Devin Haney is a draw. He sold when he fought Kambosos. He sold when he fought Lomachenko. Ryan Garcia does not. Keyshawn has done bigger numbers in his hometown than Ryan Garcia has done. Facts. Facts. So therefore, what I take from Ryan Garcia, I take it with a grain of salt, because guess what? Ryan Garcia, as he told you after he beat Mario Barrios, I don't care about this belt. I just did this for my father. So my father, Henry Garcia, can say his son was a world champion officially. That's all I care. He passed him the belt. I don't care about this belt. I just want to thank the Lord, thank the people that came out. I'm an entertainer. That's who he is. That's why he don't care about following the rules. That's why these social media influencers love Ryan Garcia, because he's one of them. He's not a boxing savant. That's not what he is. He's one of them. Period. So they identify. That's why he goes on these spaces and these platforms, and they support him, because he's one of them. Period. And that's all I got for y'all. He don't even hold a candle to Terence Crawford. It's just silly. That's all I got. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, or in one word, I'm gone. Peace.